This video has been produced with the assistance of students from the University of Birmingham. It will discuss sexual harassment in the workplace, explore what it is, and the actions you can take if you experience it. In 2018, a House of Commons report said that at least 40% of women and around 18% of men have experienced sexual harassment in the workplace. Sexual harassment means unwanted conduct of a sexual nature which can violate your dignity and create an intimidating, humiliating, or offensive environment. Sexual harassment is unacceptable and is a serious issue. It is important to know your rights if you experience sexual harassment within the workplace. Under the Equality Act 2010, sexual harassment is a form of unlawful discrimination. You have legal protection against an act of sexual harassment. What behaviour can be regarded as sexual harassment? Sexual comments or noises, like wolf whistling or catcalling. Sexual jokes, innuendos, or suggestive comments from co-workers. Unwanted physical contact of a sexual nature, including brushing up against someone, touching them unnecessarily, or hugging without consent. Commenting on someone's appearance, their clothes, or their body can be sexual harassment. Stalking, upskirting, and indecent exposure. Sexual assault. Being treated less favourably at work for rejecting a sexual advance. Whatever form it takes, sexual harassment is unacceptable. Where can sexual harassment take place? Sexual harassment can happen in the workplace, such as in the office, a factory, restaurant, or shop, but it can also happen outside of the workplace. For example, at a work conference or at other work-related social events. In the tech age, sexual harassment can even occur over email or on social media. Wherever it happens, it is unlawful. Who can commit sexual harassment? Many different people can commit sexual harassment in the workplace. It might be a colleague, a manager, or a potential employer. Also, even a patient, client, or customer could sexually harass you in the workplace, even though they are a third party. If that happens, then contact Birmingham People's Centre for advice. Will sexual harassment in the workplace be dismissed by my employer? Your employer is responsible for the actions of its workers and should take all complaints of sexual harassment seriously. Ask to see your employer's policy on dealing with sexual harassment complaints. The employer should not dismiss a claim of sexual harassment without carrying out a thorough investigation. Even if similar conduct has not been objected to in the past, it can be objected to now and become unwanted. The act of sexual harassment can be a one-off or a repeated event. Importantly, if you were treated less favourably in the workplace after making a complaint about sexual harassment, that is discrimination. What can I do if I am being sexually harassed in the workplace? The first important step is to collect evidence. Keep a written account of each time you have been sexually harassed. This should include information such as where it happened, who was involved, when it happened, and if there were any witnesses. This will be helpful when making a complaint against your harasser. Ask your employer if they have a sexual harassment policy and a procedure for raising complaints about sexual harassment. You should raise the issue with your employer. This could be a conversation with your manager or by directly contacting the human resources team, or asking your trade union to support you. It is best to put things in writing so there is a written record. Your employer might suggest reporting the issue to the police. Whether you do this is up to you. If your employer doesn't have a sexual harassment policy, then you should consider raising a formal grievance. This should be in writing and sent to your manager, and you might want to send a copy to human resources. If your manager is the person sexually harassing you, then send the grievance to their manager. Make sure you keep a copy of your grievance. You should be invited to a meeting to discuss your grievance, and your employer should then investigate and produce a report of their findings. If you are unhappy with the outcome, you can appeal. If you cannot solve the issue through the grievance process, you have the right to make a claim to the Employment Tribunal. Before making a claim to the Employment Tribunal, you must go through the ACAS early conciliation process. It is very important that a claim is made to the tribunal within 3 months, less than a day, from the act of sexual harassment. Remember, you have a right to legal protection from sexual harassment. It does not matter how old you are, what gender, or whether it was just banter. Any form of sexual harassment is serious, unacceptable, and you don't have to put up with it. If you want any advice about sexual harassment or assistance in making a claim to the Employment Tribunal, then please contact Birmingham People's Centre. Please look at Birmingham People's Centre's website, www.bpcentre.org.uk, for more advice on employment law issues. This information is for general guidance only and is not legal advice. It should not be regarded or relied upon as a complete or authoritative statement of the law. Birmingham People's Centre is not liable for any loss, damage, or inconvenience arising from using the information provided.